Hello, everyone. So, this is my first podcast, and I'll be doing this podcast to tell you guys my experience at ScholarX. So, I'll begin. So, first of all, I did not know what ScholarX was, and my friend Ganguly only shared a post on my uni group, and so I was interested by it, and I asked her, what it is all about, and then she gave very good remarks about it, and she also referred me to the website, and then I went there, and then I got to understand what the program was about. Basically, it was an exclusive 6-month program, a mentoring program that we undergo. And the best part about this was actually Sri Lankans who have made it, who have done postgrad studies, and very potential, very successful people with Sri Lankans are actually helping or mentoring Sri Lankan students. And I thought, this is a great initiative, has done a great job, getting these things together. And so right away I applied to it. And I did not think much about it or anything, because I saw the past mentees, and I thought, the competition might be really, really high. So I didn't have much hopes about it. But in weeks, I got to know, I was selected. So Saumya was the person who informed us about it from SCF. And then we were invited to a program introduction session, which was conducted by Minuri, Saumya, and Akshika. So basically, we were told, how the mentees were selected, the procedure and all, and also, the requirements, what we have to do. And this is also another requirement where we explain our experiences, which is really good, I think, because others can also get to know about this amazing program. And also we were told, how a successful mentor and mentee relationship looks like. So that was about it. And then, we were very happy at the end of the session, and we were all, I think, all the mentees were very hopeful for the future and what is yet to come. Our first session started then. So my mentor was Sumudu Herath. He is a PhD candidate in computational mechanics at the University of Cambridge. And so I went to his, I googled him, and then, I researched about him, and I was very impressed. He had a lot of achievements under his belt, and I felt really, really, proud, and also very much in gratitude towards SCF for finding a mentor that is so qualified and has so many achievements. So we had a group session first with Sumudu Herath. So he was kind enough to organize this for us. And what we did was, so he just asked us some basic questions, so we were able to get to know each other. So we had 5 mentees allocated for Sumudu Herath. I was one of them, and my good friend Chamodi was also allocated to Sumudu Herath, and there was also another person from Moratuwa IIT. So it was a very diverse group, and we also bonded a little as well in that session. And then we actually talked about some very important things. I think most of our viewers or listeners would be very interested in what I'm about to share. So Sumudu actually told us how he got into Cambridge, and what was the procedure that he followed. And the main thing that he told us was not to wait until you finish your undergraduates. So basically what he's saying is you should start applying on your 7th semester. And then we talked about locations, where you can go, what are the countries, then what are the advantages and disadvantages of particular countries. So countries like USA, Canada, Japan, and Europe. Europe is not a country, it is a continent, but Europe, except for UK, 90% of the time you have to do your masters if you want to get your PhD. But countries like UK and Australia, they let you in to go for direct PhDs if you have good research on your undergrad. And we also talked about requirements like GRE and TOEFL, and also some countries that have very low student fees, countries like Norway, Sweden, Finland, Germany. So for all listeners out there, if you guys want universities that do not charge very high tuition fees, those are the countries: Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Germany. And he told us to pay a lot of importance to your final year project, because universities do check that when you are going for higher studies. So how can you find universities? So what he suggested was to go through QS rankings and Times Higher websites, but make sure you search universities based on the subject, not overall rank, because a university that might be good in something in a different subject may not be good in the subject that you are interested in. So make sure you always rank the universities according to subject. And also try to find supervisors, maybe Sri Lankan supervisors who may want to help you out. And also there are so many documents that are needed. I see a lot of people, even university undergraduates, have not made their CVs yet. We have to make our CVs, and we need to make the CV, and we need to make sure that we update our CV as well as we go along. That is a very important thing to know. Also, we need to find cover letters, people who might write cover letters for us. And also those are the things, because cover letter is a separate thing. You have to write it with your CV, and it depends on the university or the job that you might be applying to. But when you're applying for universities, you need references. So make sure you have good relationship with your lecturers. They might give a reference to you, and so it's very important that you have a good understanding with your lecturers and seniors. Afterwards, Sumudu actually had a one-to-one session with each of us. This came after 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks after the group session. So there I talked with him, some things that were actually important for me. So I wanted to know what are the companies that are good in Sri Lanka to do my internship, and he suggested many companies. And also during, I think most of us are stuck at home due to Corona, so I asked him what initiatives that we can take to improve ourselves maybe during these times, and what do you and what he recommends. So what he actually told was to read these journals, scientific journals, and read papers related to whatever I'm interested in, or something like that. And also he recommended me a scientific journal called Scopus, Scopus. Do check that out, guys. It was very interesting indeed. So those were the things that I was able to do during this time, and I hope to catch you guys again in the next episode with much more information. See you all.